In the next few minutes, we're going to get a quick start overview of artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, and natural language processing. So what is artificial intelligence? Really, it's a branch of computer science study which trying to study how to make the machine can mimic human behavior, human intelligence, and animal intelligence, so that the machine can communicate and react in the human natural behavior, natural language, so they can acting like a human. Since they are robots, then they can do more work for human. So AI is defined by different type of AI. So one way the is being categorized by Disruption book is narrow intelligence, narrow intelligence, and the other type is general intelligence. But nowadays, it's more likely being divided by in between of those have two more types. So later on, we will show some videos and to have a more categorized of AI. But now we're using narrow intelligence, which means the machine or the robots can do only one type of work and can do repeating work for that particular type of work. For example, a cooker can only cook. So it's more focused on one type of functions or task. And the other type is more general intelligent, which means this AI computer can perform multiple kind of tasks more closer to a human being can do. So there's 4 different type of testing at old time. One, those general intelligence was defined. One is toning test, which is coming from Alan Turing time. So basically the testing is saying if artificial intelligent robots can perform human conversation, and without notice by some typical person within 30 minutes. That means you pass the testing. The second type is coffee test. The robots will work as human assistant, and if somebody cannot get in the house, be able to figure out where the cup is from the cabinet, and then take the cup out and then make a coffee, get it ready. So that's the second type. And there is other type like acting like a college student can study, pass a test. And another type is like employment test, which as a typical worker, you can do multiple type of task and be able to perform normally. So that's all the different type of testing to measure if the artificial intelligence is mature. And machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. So basically is making the machine learning the historic data to build a model to react for decision making. When they facing decision making, they judge based on the historic data and making new model to determine what to do next, like expert system. So it does include like supervised, semi-supervised, and unsupervised machine learning. Supervised, basically you are giving different factors, giving the different classes, category, and to train the data. Semi-supervised is you're not giving all the categories, you may give some instructions. And unsupervised, you totally don't give any type of any training. So just through the big data side in, and the machine will be able to figure out the pattern. And example of using machine learning is like, when you nowadays we get on the internet and to watching some TV shows or on the YouTube, for example, as you watching visit different website, and the YouTube channel will give you a guide, some content related to your the content you visit before. So it's based on historic data. You visit some website, some content, and they build a model to learn your behavior to predict what will be more interesting to you. Of course, this is going to be also to apply to marketing and advertisement area. So deep learning is part of the subset of the machine learning, and it's particular using a neural network to figure out patterns, to figure out recognition of data side. And deep learning most of the time having a much larger data side, and there's big data being trained by the algorithm. You were not going to give too much about instructions, categories. So the machine will be able to figure out the patterns. Deep learning used for a lot of things nowadays, like face recognitions, pattern recognitions, and other field. So there is a page on the Wikipedia's talk more about how the neural network being used for deep learning. Please read that. And there is a lot of applications like image recognition, visual art processing, natural language processing is one of the big part of the using neural network to learn the voice, and not only voice but also text processing. For example, like a company who are hiring, they can process the resume for applicant's resume with neural and natural language process, and to pick out a keyword. So that's why sometimes your resume have to be prepared the way it's being kind of shorted. Recommendation system is also part of the deep learning. So there is more information there. I would like you to go to look at those. Mentioned about a natural language processing, NLP, as a field of subset of deep learning. So basically it's focused on text and speech. So nowadays we use natural language processing a lot. For example, we have an AI system like Alexa. They can recognize your voice, and they can remember what you have visited before or interested in. All of those, voice recognition and facial recognition, all natural language processing. So the natural language processing is a field of combination of computer science and also the linguistic art. So it's trying to fill the gap between the human communication and a computer understanding the human. So that's one of the mean our aim for the natural language processing. So the goal is trying to make robot talking like us. There is one example actually posted by our classmate, the MIT Media Lab. They have a project for AutoGo. They have a sensor to put in your around your neck and your chi, and the sensor will read the silent talk and read human's mind, although you're not speaking it out, but the sensor will be able to detect what you're trying to say and then reacting as what you want to see. So for example, you sit here with that sensor on, and then you look at TV, but you think about CNN News or Fox News, and then it's in your mind, but it's being captured and being processed, and so the news channel will be up. You can turn on the TV, and then you can turn on the channel. So here's the summary of a comparison and summary of those different areas of artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is a bigger umbrella, and is mimicking humans' natural intelligence for a machine. So making the machine be able to understand, reacting, and communicate with human being. And so the subset, the machine learning, and is a subset of artificial intelligence. So the data science, when we talk about artificial intelligence, a lot of time we also associate with the data science, because artificial intelligence is based on the data, based on big data. So you can study the data and to predict the future. You cannot gather data, manipulate data, and making the machine learning the data, that you wouldn't be able to creating model and to predict future decision. So that's why we talk about data science here. So data science is the study of data and manipulation and analysis of the data, include gathering, cleaning, subsetting, and manipulation and data mining. And machine learning actually is combination of machine and data science, basically using the algorithm to study data set, to learn what the pattern, what the data set pattern is. And human can give the supervision for the data set to identify some categorized feature, and to study on those features to figure out if that's the one making the difference, making the significant difference. So, but if you're trying to be, if you don't want to put any human interaction with the data, and deep learning is coming in. Deep learning, you through the data, big data, into the deep learning model, and then the neural network, different type of neural network, will study the data and creating the patterns, and then making the further recognition. So a quick simplified version of the comparison is machine learning, you have the human interfere sometimes with the feature extraction, but for deep learning, you just put the big set of data into the deep learning model and to create a model for future decision. So some other learning resources here. I'm going to get into some videos for next next part.